to a couple of things, and we won't keep you from the food this evening. I just want to say thank you for coming out and tell you just a little bit about who we are. Look at the full room that exists here. The Korean Southeast U.S. Chamber of Commerce started in 1991, and it was with the help of Georgia Power and Coca-Cola at that time. They recognized the growing Korean population in the Atlanta area specifically, but that it was happening all over the Southeast. So with their help, with Mr. John Hemby, who started this organization, to address the issues that would allow us as Americans and Koreans to work together in business and industry and as a family. And since that time, look around this room and just think of the things that have happened in Georgia and Alabama and all over the Southeast. We have a number of folks on our board that are both from Georgia and Alabama, and we are reaching out to have Florida included and want to include others in the Southeast. Very exciting things have been going on with us. Last year, our board hosted the ambassador to South Korea, the U.S. ambassador to South Korea came and spoke to us, as well as the South Korean ambassador to the U.S. That was just one of the things that we have done over the last year, but done several things that would allow us to reach out into the community and continue to grow that positive relationship. So we are very excited to have you here tonight. I want to introduce to you, well, do me a favor first, and I'm going a little bit off the script, Amy, sorry. But if you're from Alabama, raise your hand. If you went to Auburn, put it down. I'm just how about Georgia? All right. So you can see we have a wonderful cooperation. We work well together on this board. We realize that many times we are competing against each other for business, but we also realize that it's good for the Southeast, it's good for all of us. I want to next introduce Mr. Andy Kim, who is our outgoing president of the Korean Southeast U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Jane. Good evening. I'm very delighted to see you all, and this is the biggest turnout in our history of this chamber. And I'd like to welcome all of you to this great event to celebrate our economic the growth, and then also for future of our developments in both southeastern United States and Korea. I brought a long speech. However, I'm going to make it very short. Okay? Well, the way I wanted to express my sincere appreciation, thank you to my great executive board members and also those who sacrifice their times and efforts to make this chamber move forward. So instead of giving a long speech at this time, I would like to ask all vice presidents, Arndt, Jimon, and then Andrew Hardin, and Cheney Park, and also our lovely secretary, Angela Levin, and our executive administrator, Sarah Hamilton, and our annual dinner chair, Jane Fryer, come up on the stage.
Okay, we're going to start out with Andrew Harding, and this is for his exemplary dedication and service. He is a vice president of our organization. He also ran the golf tournament, and we have a golf tournament. He'll tell you more about it. So thank you, Andy. This is Andrew. Who's Andrew? Next we have Art, and Art is with that Auburn place that's down the road, and we are very blessed to have him as a piece of our organization. Next, we have Cheney Park. Cheney is also a vice president, also with Korean Air. So thank you, Cheney. Sarah Hamilton, we don't do what we do without Sarah Hamilton, I'll just say it that way. She takes care of everything. All of those things, she has been fantastic, and we appreciate Sarah. Angela Rose Levine, we also, has been our secretary for a number of years. Angie has worked with the Korean Chamber longer than any of us standing on this stage. She started it too. Next is Jane, that was funny. Jane Fryer. And Jane Fryer was our annual dinner chair this year. Andy said it, we had to turn people away this year because of the requirements for the room here. So Jane has done a wonderful job. Jane was in Cook County and now she is in Meriwether County. She was here when Kia came and worked through all of those things, have worked with a number of suppliers, but she also reaches out way beyond that and makes a difference. She's in Meriwether County now and we're glad to have her there. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Dr. Steve Hahn with Georgia Dental Employment Center, also Bobby Clayton from the UPS. She couldn't be here because she injured her knee earlier this morning. But Representative Nelson Mullins, I'd like to ask Alex Shin to come up. And they are the most contributed sponsors the last 2 years. This chamber couldn't run without all those grateful sponsorships. And I have a couple more awards to present. And that is, started last year, we picked the Lifetime Achievement Awards. And the first recipient was a former ambassador, James Laney, and received it. And this year, we picked Craig Lesser, and also Randy Jackson. Please come on the stage.
Craig Lesser has been involved in economic development across the state and across the state of Georgia and across the southeast for many, many years. He was the commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development at one point too, at the time when we were working with Kia to come here. Randy Jackson, I'll tell you a lot more about Randy Jackson later because he's going to speak to us. But Randy is the Chief Administrative Officer of Kia Motors Manufacturing of Georgia. He is a Georgian born and raised, and he moved away and we brought him back. We appreciate day in and day out, gentlemen, what you do for us. Thank you. And this says, it is a Lifetime Achievement Award for distinguished public and professional services and the promotion of understanding and economic growth between the people of the Republic of Korea and the Southeast United States. Presented this January 28, 2016.
Really brought Kia to the here in West Point, Georgia, that provides thousands and thousands of jobs to Americans. And without their efforts, this couldn't happen. And they deserve to be a Lifetime Achievement Award recipients. And I'm so proud and so honored to have these two gentlemen elected. Thank you all.
We talked about when this organization started, but the relationship that has been forged over the years between South Korea and the United States can go back to the Korean War. And I would like for us to recognize and allow to go first at dinner, and I would also, if any help, board members, would you help them? We have with us 7 Korean veterans and a lovely bride. So would you please stand and let us honor you tonight?
Let me tell y'all how much Andy has worked. He's been a board member for over 8 years. He served as president for 2 years. He works on this all the time. I can never live up to what Andy Kim has done for this organization. So Andy, on behalf of the board of directors, we'd like to present you with this plaque. Thank you for all that you have done for us. If I can only do half as good a job as you presented to Andy Kim, in grateful appreciation for your distinguished service to the Korea Southeast U.S. Chamber of Commerce as a board member for over 8 years and chairman of the board 2018. Thank you.
I want to say a few words, real short. It says 2 years a term, but I felt like I served a 4 years term because I think in history with this chamber, I never conduct every event at once. I had to postpone it 2 or 3 times due to the weather, due to the Kia workshops, you name it. I worked twice longer, more than all the that's been during the 2 years. But you know what? I really enjoyed it. I had fun of it. So thank you all, and it really relieves me a lot. But I'm not staying away. I'm going to stay near the Jane, help the chamber, move forward with it. So next event is a golf tournament coming soon.
Little did I know in November of 2005 that one day I would be standing on this platform talking to all of you about the Korea Southeast Chamber of Commerce. In 2005, November of 2005, is when I got my first phone call from Greg Lesser's office saying we have a project that's moving in your area between the Grange and West Point. There's no way I'm there, I said. You heard the story. It happened. There was a lot of team effort. And I appreciate everybody that worked on it. We're so happy to have kids in this region. They could have gone to anywhere. And they chose this part of the state of Georgia. And I'm so proud of it. I'm standing here tonight in front of all of these Korean and American businesses that work together for the good of our countries, for Korea and the United States. We come from all walks of life, but together we all work together to make this a better place to live. We're here to create jobs, investment, and as I said, make it a better place to live. I am very honored to be standing here tonight to lead this organization. I tried to turn it down. I turned it down many times, told Andy I wouldn't do it, but here I am standing here. I guess I had a weak moment somewhere along the way. I'm sorry for it. But I can't do it without your support. All of you are here tonight in support of this organization. I pledge my support, but I also ask all of you to give us the support that we need to make this a better organization. We're here to create goodwill among our people, encourage relationships among everyone, facilitate meetings, exchange ideas, and serve the businesses with information related to trade, commerce, and investments. As you know, we are a membership-based organization, and that's one thing I will be working on. I want all of you to be members of this association. We'll be hearing more about that later. But I'd like to right now, and I know I've got to hurry because EJ is pushing me. We have several past presidents here, and I'd like for them to stand and be honored. Phil, are you here? Right, well, all of you. I don't want to start calling names because I'm going to leave someone out. Thank you for your time and service. As I said, I feel very inadequate to be here tonight, standing here among all of you, and there's so many of you out there that can be doing I know a much better job than I could do. So, for me to do this job, I've got to have your help. Before I get off the podium, I want to thank those that I work with. I've got my cohorts from LaGrange and West Point, and by the way, Mayor Ferguson is here tonight, and he has announced that he is running for Congressman Westmoreland's seat. So I want everybody to meet Mayor Ferguson. Stand up, because I want to thank my Meriwether County friends that are here. We have some of my board members and the county commissioners here, and I thank you so much for your support of all that I do. Thank you very much. Especially, I can't forget Sarah Hamilton. She is our assistant. She has a full-time job as an attorney. Stand up, Sarah. I know they saw you a while ago. She is a full-time attorney. She does our work at night. Sometimes we get emails from her at 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I don't read them at 3 o'clock in the morning, but she's very dedicated, and I thank you so much. And I have to thank my sister, Wanda Walton, who I about worked to death this week trying to get everything ready. And thank you, Belinda, for all that you have done. We don't have a busy meeting. Thank you for allowing me to serve in this position. I ask for your support, and you will be hearing more from me later. Thank you.
First, let me thank you guys for coming tonight. I didn't get a chance to see all the hands when someone said who drove the Kia, so could you raise those again tonight? Okay, here's the deal. Before you leave tonight, I want you to find someone in the room with Kia, one being myself, but they will give you a good discount so that next year when we have this event, all hands come up. We'd love for you to be in our brand, really. So thank you. I'm going to kind of keep it short, but what I wanted to do was really talk a little bit about some milestones that we've hit here since beginning time to current. And one of the things that I think is major important to hear is when we started the plant up, for the most part, probably 95% or better of most of the people that we hired had never built a car before, had never been around automotive. We had to teach them everything, but we did hire great people, and we have a great workforce. And with our partner with Quick Start, we put together a lot of excellent training, and we brought everybody along. And you know, you look at each year and each shift that we launched and each car that we launched, and everybody got better and better and better. And we have assembled a team that is fantastic. You've heard I've been in automotive most of my career, and I've worked for some very premier companies. And I can tell you that the team that we have here and the company that we have here in West Point, Georgia, I'll put them against any team in the industry and place my bet that they'll come out ahead. We're very, very proud of our people. Our Kia Way philosophy basically states that people are the heart and soul of our company, and we believe that, and we walk the talk every day trying to make sure that that's carried out. And I can assure you, if you do that, you'll get home runs, you'll have a lot of victories, and you'll set a lot of records. A couple of them that I wanted to mention. I think someone mentioned, I think it was Jane said in '05 she got the phone call. You may or may not realize, but in March of this year, it'll be 10 years of the signing of the deal of Kia, where Chairman Chung and at that time Governor Perdue was signing the deal to come here. And sometimes I look at it, I've been here almost 9 years, and it's like, where did it all go? It's go all the time with us, and records that we set every month. In March, we'll also be very close to hitting 2 million vehicles produced. Probably will happen in late March. That's a record for us in the time frame that we did it. We hit 1 million in less than 4 years, and most companies takes about 10 years to do that. We were the first ones to launch 3 shifts in the industry. Nobody would ever take the chance to do that. We sat down and put our heads together and launched the 3rd shift, and now the industry has followed us, and many other companies are trying to do that. But again, we have led the industry so many times in what we think we can do. We have a can-do mindset. We look at things and we say, hey, let's figure it out. Let's connect the dots. Let's get our teams together. Let's all pull in the same direction. And we're basically having tremendous success. We've created so far over 15,000 jobs between ourselves and our suppliers in this region. That wouldn't include anybody in a temporary status, and I believe if we looked at it, it would be much higher than that. But 15,000 plus jobs have been created. We have really changed the face of this region. We've changed lives. We've had people come to us and say, hey, I can now have 2 cars, I can fly on vacation, I can send my kids to college. And at one time, those people didn't have much hope. And I can tell you, it makes you feel really, really good when you can change lives and make it better for people. We've already donated over $10 million in the region and to the communities since we've been here. That's a lot of money going back into the community. We're recognized as the fastest automobile growing company in the world. Our competition looks at us and says, wow, what are you guys doing? Our team that we put together is an all-star team. Our senior leadership has a tremendous amount of experience in automotive, and we know what we're doing. I say many times that a lot of us have been to this rodeo many times, and we can predict what's coming at us and hit the ball very quickly. Last year, we had a volume record year out of manufacturing. We produced well over 360,000 units out of this facility. If you look at it in a car built every 57 seconds, roughly a car a minute, that's tremendous performance. Just last week, we had 3 straight days at 100% efficiency. Our plant is a well-oiled machine right now. And we're producing cars and having great quality when it comes off the line. We launched the 2016 Optima last year, which is on the market for sale now. We had a little bit of an expansion in our vehicle processing center, which is in the back side of the facility where we ship cars. We have a second rail loading growth stage there, so it gives us a little bit better efficiency and gives us a little bit better inventory control behind the facility. Last year, we got the J.D. Power Award first place for Sorrento, and we did that in 5 years. Nobody has done it in 5 years. An interesting comment I'd make there, our Vice President of Quality has been in the industry about 23, 24 years, and of course that's a goal that he wants to hit every year, but it's the first time he had the first place award here at Kia, but we did it in 5 years. The Sorrento just recently made the cover of Consumer Report magazine. That's hard to do. That's basically the consumer voice telling us of the buyers that it's the best car on the road. That's the people buying the car and driving the car. Any customer's voice is coming into the J.D. Power and the Consumer Reports. We continue to get safety awards, safety crash course awards. We get letters from individuals all the time, sometimes to myself, sometimes to other people, thanking us for the safety and the way the car is built, that they were in a major car accident and walked away and potentially saved their life. So as we're building these vehicles out, it makes us feel very proud that we can put that car on the road and have that kind of voice talking back to us. A couple of things about sales in 2015 I'd like for you to know. The industry itself grew about 5.7%. So we're in an industry of growth. The total sales, 17,470,000. That would be total market. Now, I've been in this industry most of my career, and the highest I've ever seen it was approaching 17. So it's already surpassed that. Predictions next year, 18. Analysts tell us maybe the year after that could potentially push 19. So growth is in front of us. We have to take it and do something with it. Our growth comes from market share. We're trying to take market share from our competitors. KMA sales set a record last year, all-time sales record for our KMA headquarters in California that sells the vehicles, a record for them. So 15 was a sales record as well as a manufacturing record. The Optima you saw in the video is our leading vehicle that we make. It was pushing 160,000 last year that we built. The Sorrento was pushing 170,000. So, I don't know if you guys have toured our facility. If you haven't, we'd ask you to come look at it and take a peek at it. But I can tell you, it is a fantastic place to be. It's a great place to work. We have great teams. We have great people. And those people and that workforce that we have is the reason these records are getting set. We have set very aggressive targets for 16, and we're trying to beat our 15th year. And I believe that we will be sitting there in December looking at the end of the year and we'll say, hey, we beat it again. Because every month and every year we look at ourselves and say, we just need to do a little bit more and we'll set a new record. We're very, very proud of that. We also introduced the new EV charging station that you may or may not know at the Georgia Welcome Center. We partnered up with the Ray Anderson Foundation and put that in. That basically allows people from Atlanta now and from a charging station standpoint to go from Atlanta all the way to Montgomery. So we've closed that gap down so people that are driving those EVs can participate in that drive if they want. I talked a little bit about our current workforce, which is fantastic. We have spent a lot of time in the last 4 or 5 years looking at our future. And I wanted to mention a few things about what we're doing there because the future workforce is something that we have to look at very closely. A couple of things that you may or may not realize, but 15 years from now, our workforce is sitting in kindergarten. 10 years from now, our workforce is sitting in the 6th grade. So we have been working with our education system and our education partners to go down into the levels of early grade educators, all the way down to kindergarten, middle grade schools, and introducing STEM through our AWIM group, through SAE Foundation, to change these youngsters' outlook on what they may or may not be interested in. I was just at a school this morning of 5th graders, and it was amazing to watch them and how active and how energetic they get about this. We had to move our annual event to Atlanta because the venues here were not large enough to house us. And we had a big event there, and we've got another big event scheduled in 2018 in Atlanta. We have also introduced and birthed Think College and Career Academy, which is in LaGrange. It's basically introducing 10, 11, and 12th graders to certain pathways like mechatronics, business, marketing, healthcare, energy, and they're getting into things and getting their hands on things and getting real excited, and we're changing a lot of youngsters' lives on that. And introducing these kids to a future workforce so that they can get out and enjoy what they're doing and be able to help this region with that future workforce. So we're very, very proud of that. And I would encourage you, if you haven't seen that Think College and Career Academy, I would encourage you to go by and take a tour. But overall, Kia is having a lot of success. Life is good there. We want to continue to do what we're doing. We want to continue to keep our people out front and rewarding our folks, because our success is all because of them. And on behalf of all the team members at Kia, I'd like to thank them for all those records, and we appreciate them every day. I appreciate you. We would consider all of you guys our families and friends. Anytime that you need us, let us know. We'll try to help you in any way possible. Thank you for having me here tonight. Enjoy yourself, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. It certainly is my honor and pleasure to be here, and I want to thank you so much for the wonderful invitation. I want to give recognition to the local elected officials. As Jane pointed out, I'm the chairman of Fulton County. I recognize that this is not my jurisdiction, even though we feel that Fulton County and the city of Atlanta are the center of the universe. But I certainly want to give homage to the mayor, Mayor Ferguson, as well as any other officials from the county and city government in the area. I want to thank Randy for hosting this meeting, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Kia company for all that you're doing that's helping to change the landscape of the state of Georgia. I also want to thank my friends who are at my table, Craig Lesser and Phil Bowden, who I've known for many years. Thank you for all the work that you've done in the international community, not only in Atlanta, Fulton County, but also the state of Georgia. Last but not least, I want to thank my friend Andy Kim, who I've known for about 8 years, for the invitation to come here. I've enjoyed today's program, this evening's program, but I must admit that one of the highlights of the program was hearing the recognition of our veterans who served in the Korean War. And so why am I so proud and so motivated and inspired for your recognition today? Well, it's because as a young lad growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, my awareness of the international community was first introduced by my dad, who also served in the Korean War. And he shared with me his acts of courage and the acts of his fellow folks in the Army of doing what they could to have democracy in Korea. And so I want to thank you for your service. And I also want to say, as part of my development, my father, who was so close to me, who passed away several years ago, because of his service, he not only introduced me to the international community, but he also developed a fondness for Korea. I have not had a chance to visit Korea, but I will say that my niece, who just graduated about 5 years ago from the University of Florida, when she finished from the University of Florida, she went to Korea to teach English and taught in Icheon, and had a great experience in that city. And now she's back in Jacksonville sharing Korean with her friends and trying to impress people. I'm happy to be here, and I wanted to give you just sort of a political perspective of why Korea is important, why Kia is important. As Randy was sharing, as Jane was sharing about how this plant was first built, put together back 10 years ago, that was the beginning of some changes in the political landscape here in Georgia, where today now we have about 51 different companies, most of them manufacturers, who are doing work and have facilities in our wonderful state. Korea is the third largest importer of products and goods into our state. These businesses and these companies, they develop jobs that are sorely needed in our state. And so I want you to know that I've had a chance to meet the ambassador of Korea to the United States, as well as the U.S. ambassador to Korea. And we certainly are appreciative of all that's being done in terms of growth of our economy, but also job creation. And I'm also very, very pleased and happy to see how Korea is having an impact on my county of Fulton County. Fulton County is the largest county in the state of Georgia, and the Atlanta region is the 9th largest region in terms of population than anywhere else in the United States. And people come to Fulton County, people come to the Atlanta region for many reasons. The number one reason that people come to Atlanta, the number one reason that people come to Fulton County is because of our diversity. And when you are in Fulton County, you go to the northern part of our county as well as Gwinnett County, you certainly see the presence of a large Korean community. And I want you to know that our community, your community, is part of the development and the growth of the Atlanta region. And it's one of the top reasons that people want to come to Atlanta. Atlanta is also a great city, a great region because of its airport. And we believe that Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, which is the busiest airport in the United States and the world, is another reason why companies from Korea, companies from other parts of the country of the world want to come to the Atlanta region. But we're trying our best to make our region even more robust. We don't want to just fall back on the fact that we have corporations that are there. We don't want to just fall back on the fact that we have Hartsfield-Jackson there. We're doing our best to try to make our education system even stronger. Randy pointed out about how we need to have a trained workforce. So at a local level, you're seeing us, elected officials, trying to work with our school systems and trying to make sure that we have an educated workforce. Too many of our young people are dropping out of school, but we are beginning to collaborate and try to increase the number of people who graduate from high school and go on to college, because it's important for a robust economy, for a trained workforce, to have educated people who are graduating from school. We also think in Atlanta that one of the biggest challenges that we have when people want to come to Atlanta is, guess what? Traffic. So the elected officials in Atlanta, we're beginning to do all we can to strengthen the transit system in Atlanta. My niece who went to Seoul talked about the transit system over in Korea. We want to have a robust transit system in Atlanta. And so the locally elected officials right now are trying to do all that we can to expand MARTA to not just be in Fulton County, not just be in DeKalb County, but to be in Gwinnett County, to be in Cobb County, so that we can have a truly strong transit system in metropolitan Atlanta area. And so we are doing all that we can as locally elected officials to make our economy, to make our workforce, to make our community as robust and as diverse as possible. And so I want to thank you again for all that you're doing in our communities to make us strong. Thank you, Kia, for what you're doing. And as I close out my remarks, I want to remind you of, there's a famous tree in California called the sequoia tree. Say sequoia. Sequoia. Sequoia tree. The sequoia tree is a big, big tree, and it's really, really wide. It's also a big, tall tree, and it seemingly goes up to the sky. But the sequoia tree, which is this famous tree in California, is never by itself. And when I was in San Francisco, when I was in Yosemite National Park, I asked the park ranger, why is the sequoia tree never by itself? He said because the sequoia tree, if it were by itself, it will fall over. But the sequoia tree is unique because underneath the surface of the sequoia tree is a root system. And the root system of one sequoia tree connects with the root system of another sequoia tree. And above the ground, the branches of one sequoia tree connects with the branches of another sequoia tree. And this big, tall, wide sequoia tree is standing strong because it's connected with other sequoia trees. The point, my friends, is Atlanta, this region, this state is strong and robust, not because of one people, not just because of one type of people, but it's because of a diverse people. And so, my friends, I want you to know that I certainly recognize, I certainly appreciate, I certainly value the diversity of our community, the diversity of the Atlanta region, the diversity of our state, and the role that Koreans play in terms of making this great state of ours like the sequoia tree. Have a wonderful weekend.
Hello, I'm Anita Archie. I'm the Chief of Staff of the City of Montgomery, and we're very happy to be here. You know, I get reminiscent about us landing Hyundai HMMA many years ago. And many of the folks that are part of that team are in the room. I think about Mayor Cooper and Gale, who was our lead attorney on that. And at the time that Hyundai landed, I was one of the associate counsels for Hyundai. So I'm an attorney by trade, and the mayor, Todd Strange, was the actual, at this time, you say commissioner of commerce. And he's now mayor of Montgomery. And he's still working very hard. Chambers County, that is so close to this area. I can remember when it was double-digit unemployment here in Chambers County. And now you see the benefit of having Kia and Hyundai so close that it's changed the fabric of that. And Dr. Eads, you know, I'm going to use that sequoia story because that's a pretty good story to use. Because it's right, it's about those roots. $4.2 billion influence, economic impact to the state of Alabama from the Korean businesses that are located. And that's something not to sneeze at. So at this time, on behalf of Mayor Todd Strange, we would like to throw this out for your consideration. We would like for you to consider hosting your annual dinner next year in the great city of Montgomery, Alabama, as being a part of to this historic city where it merges with the Confederacy and civil rights and the history of civil rights in the state. We celebrate the 50th anniversary of the settlement to Montgomery March, which was outstanding. President Obama came to the city of Selma. And then just a month ago, we celebrated 60th anniversary of the bus boycott. So let us honor you and let you see the impact that the Korean community has in the city of Montgomery and the state of Alabama. But thank you for that little point of privilege right there. But at the same time, on behalf of Mayor Todd Strange, we also have a proclamation that we have for Xinjiang Bang that we actually had drafted. So on behalf of Mayor Todd Strange, who could not be here tonight, we would like to present to you, both of you, a proclamation. And just not really, because I know it's a long night, but I just want to say, and it's kind of saying for both of you at the end of it, that thank you again for the support and encouragement. Well, let me just go back for a second, and say it. As Mayor of the City of Montgomery, I extend a warm greeting and cordial welcome to you. I hope that while you're here, you will have time to visit some of the many interesting places throughout our great city. We want you to come to Montgomery, which we refer to as the capital of dreams. Our city is rich in history that we love sharing with each other and the rest of the world as we continually commit ourselves to building meaningful relationships and friendship. And this is signed by Mayor Todd Strange. We wish you safe travel, and may God bless you and keep you, and may your future always shine brightly. And this is to the mother and son.
안녕하세요. 한국에서 온 강세진이라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. 한국 분들은 한국말을 알아주시기 때문에 제가 영어를 못해서요. 네, 앤디 삼촌이 좀 통역을 해주시고요.
Hi everyone, my name is Sejin Pong. Glad to meet you all. And my English is poor, but Uncle Andy is here to support.
네, 한국에서는 제가 이제 발라드 가수로 지금 준비를 하고 있고요. 제가 오늘 축하 공연을 위해서 이 자리에 오기까지 많은 일들이 있었는데 본선정을 위해서 좀 많이 애를 먹었습니다. 한국 분들을 위해서 한국 가요도 준비를 했고요. 그다음에 USA 분들을 위해서 제가 팝송도 준비를 했으니까요. 들어주시고요. 좀 가사 내용에 좀 집중을 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I'd like to sing two songs in Korean and also two songs in English, and hopefully you enjoy it. And then if you pay attention to the lyrics, you will see you will enjoy the music more.
첫 번째 곡은 이제 한국에서 요즘 히트를 치고 있는 곡이고요. 가사 내용에 이제 힘든 일들과 아픈 일들을 지난 추억으로 간직하면서 그냥 그렇게 의미 있는 시간으로 넘어가는 그런 가사 내용인데요. 그걸 들려드리도록 하겠습니다.
The first song in Korean is that he's going to sing the soft rocks, and it has the meaning that all those bad memories and hard days is gone by as a new memory. It's time to reach to the shiny day and then make it happen for better. And that's what the lyrics says in Korean.
지나간 것은 지나간